the majority of the time, young people don't understand marriage is about choosing a partner, not just choosing a feeling.
That women use to get a divorce. And that reason is that they simply outgrew them.
You know what broke me? Realizing that most women aren't divorcing because they stopped loving their husbands. They're divorcing because they got tired of raising grown men.
Many women are at the stages in their life where they want to do everything for social media and they don't want to do it for reality, and where they fall in love with the process of being in love, but they don't fall in love with the person that they're actually marrying. Or
who didn't seem to care if anybody was watching. I married the guy who was soft with me.
Because men will ignore you for years and then act confused when you finally leave. Like, don't play dumb. She didn't wake up and decide she was done. She told you 1,000 times what was wrong, and you brush it off every single time.
You know what? I'm just glad I'm not married anymore. I just get to wake up in the morning and I don't have a husband anymore.
A choose one time deal. So choose wisely, girls and guys.
In 2026, conversations around divorce are becoming more open, honest, and emotional than ever before. More women are speaking about their experiences, the struggles they faced in marriage, and the difficult decisions that led them to walk away. Behind every divorce is a personal story filled with emotions, pressure, fear, strength, and change. For many women, divorce is not just the end of a relationship. It is the beginning of rebuilding their lives from the ground up. Many women today are choosing peace, self-respect, and emotional well-being over staying in unhappy or unhealthy marriages. Some faced emotional neglect, lack of support, constant conflict, financial pressure, or feeling unheard for years. Others struggled silently because of social expectations, fear of judgment, or concern for their children and families. In this video, women share their real opinions, experiences, and feelings about divorce in 2026. These are honest conversations about heartbreak, healing, independence, and personal growth.
Do you want to know the real reason that divorce is so common nowadays? It's because people don't take marriage seriously. I truly, truly believe that the majority of the time, young people don't understand marriage is about choosing a partner, not just choosing a feeling, and someone you actually want to work and build with, and someone who you want to go through obstacles with, not someone who's just going to make your day feel happier, but someone who, when life is absolute garbage, is going to be your biggest cheerleader and your strongest teammate. And I think people have lost the value in that and the understanding of that. And it's more just pretty words and less actual meaning. And so I think a lot of people end up in a marriage thinking it's going to be all sunshine and daisies, and then a couple months in realize it's hard freaking work, and they didn't choose wisely who they were going to marry. So then, because they didn't take the decision of marriage so seriously and as sacred as they should have, they end up unhappy, hurt, cheating, whatever it is, and end up divorced. And I truly believe that's the reason divorce is so common now. Not because you can, but because you can. It's so easy. It's not easy to get a divorce, but it's accessible. People get married thinking, if it goes wrong, I'll just get a divorce. People get married thinking, I don't feel safe in this, so if it goes wrong, I'll just get a divorce. That should not be how you approach marriage. You should approach marriage with, I am never going to get a divorce because this is the person that, come hell or high water, that's the person I want to fight for, even if something happens, even on my side or theirs. And people are selfish. They don't think about the work that goes into maintaining the marriage on the opposite end and on their end. And marriage has lost its value in our culture. And yeah, I think that's why there's so many divorces. And I, for one, don't ever plan to get a divorce. It would take a lot. I plan to choose wisely, choose once, because that's what marriage is to me. And that's what it should be to everyone. It should be a choose once sort of thing. It should be a choose one time deal. So choose wisely, girls and guys. Choose wisely. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Higher.
I married the nice guy, the guy who made me laugh. I married the guy who was stable, who didn't yell. I married the guy who wasn't afraid to get down on the floor and play with kids. I married the guy who laughed really loudly, who didn't seem to care if anybody was watching. I married the guy who was soft with me, who listened to me on the phone for hours.
Spoiler alert, guys, they are separated, heading towards divorce, which is so disappointing and exactly why so many will say that a man will sacrifice his happiness for his family and a woman will sacrifice her family for her happiness. And it is exactly when loyalty and commitment is not valued over individual happiness. In these situations, 100% of the time, the grass is not greener, and the woman ends up regretting the divorce. But what's unfair and unfortunate for men oftentimes that are committed, that are loyal, they have to go through this sort of loss, and that kind of stinks.
Women are the reason for 60% of divorces, and honestly, I believe it.
It's very true. Most divorces are, in fact, initiated by women.
Because men will ignore you for years and then act confused when you finally leave. Like, don't play dumb. She didn't wake up and decide she was done. She told you 1,000 times what was wrong, and you brush it off every single time.
Now, I understand that this post is supposed to be about how men are the problem in marriages, but a lot of individuals like to conveniently leave out the fact, and yes, it is a fact, that women married to women actually have the highest divorce rates of all. So is it really men that are the problem?
One thing about women, we'll stay until the very last straw. We'll explain it, we'll cry about it, we'll try to fix it, and you still sit there acting clueless.
Well, if that was actually true, then women married to women would actually have the longest lasting relationships, wouldn't they?
When she finally files, suddenly, it's, where did it come from? It came from you not listening. That's why most women file for divorces.
Okay, sure. But in my opinion, a lot of women, not all, file for divorce because they simply aren't happy. And there's a lot of women that would rather just get divorced than work on the problem.
So I put this video up a few days ago about what is your reason for leaving the marriage or the relationship, and you guys had a lot to say. You had so many comments where you're really sharing vulnerably about the real reasons why you left your relationship. Just take a minute to read through some of these comments because I think it's so important for us to understand the real reason why women are leaving. There's so much bashing out there of like, oh, you're just bored or you're just whatever, trying to be selfish. You don't care. You're just giving up, right? But when you read these comments, you'll see the real reasons why we are leaving relationships. Why do 70 to 80% of women initiate divorce? This is so empowering. Tap to read through and pause so you can read through some of these comments. I want you to know that you are not alone. There is a huge sisterhood out here of women who are going through it, who've been through it, who want to support you. If you are struggling, just read this and remind yourself like you are not alone. We are all here together. I've got your back.
You know what broke me? Realizing that most women aren't divorcing because they stopped loving their husbands. They're divorced because they got tired of raising grown men. So we were taught to call it partnership, but most of us were just performing emotional CPR, holding everything together, the house, the kids, his moods, his dreams, while slowly losing ourselves in the process. And here's the wild part. It's not always because he's a bad person. It's because the world raised him to survive through pressure and raised us to survive through caretaking. So now you got a man who doesn't know how to sit with his emotions and a woman who's been trained to absorb them. See, that's not intimacy. That's imbalance. So I learned a lot about this from a woman who actually disguised herself as a man for 18 months to study what it's like to live on the other side. And what she found wasn't freedom. It was loneliness. Male loneliness epidemic, anyone? So she said the biggest thing she saw was how emotionally starved men are, how desperate they are for softness they don't even know how to receive. And when they finally find it in a woman, they cling to it, not realizing that love isn't meant to be a life raft. So now women everywhere are waking up saying, I'm fucking done mothering grown men. I'm done confusing empathy with endurance. And maybe that's why we're seeing this like wave of women choosing peace over marriage, because we finally realized peace is the partnership we were looking for all along. So if you want to read what opened my eyes to this, it's a book called Self-Made Man by Nora Vincent. It's wild. But here's the truth I took from it. We can understand why men are the way they are without sacrificing ourselves to try to fix it. because compassion without boundaries turns into self-abandonment real quick. So yes, we can empathize. Yes, we can see their struggle, but we don't have to keep carrying it, because love without reciprocity isn't healing. It is slow erosion. And I don't know about you, but I've rebuilt myself once already. I'm not doing it again just to make someone else feel whole. You can love somebody and still refuse to drown for them. That's not cruelty. That's clarity. So if you want to keep unpacking stuff like this, come to the Speakeasy. It's where I share the unfiltered version, the parts that don't fit in a TikTok. The link's in my bio.
Who initiated the divorce?
I initiated the divorce.
What was the reason?
Okay, we were young and we didn't communicate well. And really for me, if I'm honest, it's that he was emotionally disconnected. I felt alone in the marriage. I tried really hard to find ways to get through to him and I couldn't. And so eventually I checked out and became very resentful and angry.
Shared custody?
Shared custody.
50-50?
Yeah, I'm really close to my dad, so I didn't want to deny him that.
Was he paying you child support?
Yes. Yes, and I did get child support all the way through until my kids went to college. But it really didn't amount to that much.
Just curious, how much was he paying you?
At the beginning, I think I probably got around $6,000 a month in like child support and alimony. But this is a man who making a lot of money. He was paying me, I just remembered. So I got about $2,500 a month for child support and about $5,000 a month for alimony. Maybe it sounds like no money to you, or maybe it sounds like a lot, but relative to what my ex-husband made, I really got very little money, and it was never enough to feel remotely comfortable. So I wish I had fought a little harder.
So when I had my consultation with the divorce lawyer, she asked me, why are you doing this? Why are you looking to get a divorce? What's your reasoning for this? And I knew she was going to ask me that question before the meeting, and so I had all of my reasons ready to go, et cetera, et cetera. But the thing that came out of my mouth was, I'm tired. It's funny because I was a little embarrassed because it seemed kind of a simplistic answer. But after the call, when I thought about it some more, I realized that is really the truth. And I think it's the truth for so many women. We are just tired. Tired of not being valued, tired of not being seen, tired of being taken for granted, just tired of being unloved, disrespected. There is truly only so much a person can take, and I take full responsibility for the fact that I stayed in it as long as I did. I accepted things I never should have accepted. I take full responsibility that I didn't do my inner work to stand up and say enough years ago. But now I am. Now I am standing up and saying enough. I'm tired of this. And I'm saying it with the knowledge, finally, and the acceptance that it's never going to change. And it's not my responsibility to change it. There's nothing that I can do. I can't love more. I can't sacrifice more. I can't give more. There's nothing that I personally can do to make this situation better. All I can do is make myself, my life better. And that's why I'm doing this. That's the real reason. I kind of wish I would have said that to her because it sounds a lot more eloquent and passionate. But I think saying that you're tired, I think that's enough.
6 months after we were married, I went to go see a therapist and I said, I cannot do this. I've got to get out of this marriage. And we had dated off and on for 7 years before we got married. And I said, I got to get out. And she said, this is hard. I could see how this is not working. And I was like, I had a twinge of defensiveness about Steve. And I said, what do you mean? And she said, he likes you so much more than you like you. It must be terrible. I just kept thinking, what do you mean? He said, it's got to be very uncomfortable to be with someone who sees you and really knows you and loves you so much when you have not found a way to see you and love you so much.
Okay, so the real reason why I divorced my husband, which some people have asked me why, I don't really talk about it a lot, but it's because he got a little bit too comfortable with being disrespectful to me. And I have a zero tolerance policy when it comes to disrespect, and that goes for everybody. I also realized that he had no idea who the fuck I was. So that, coupled with the fact that he thought that he could disrespect me, was the reason why I ultimately left his ass. And it's weird because it's like there's like, if you've ever been married before, you could probably relate to this. There was somebody who was once your best friend, who you did everything with, you loved them, you thought that you would be spending the rest of your life together with them, right? And then now you're like total strangers. Like, I have no idea what this man is doing. I don't know where the fuck he's at. And he probably knows what I'm doing because he is the type of man who keeps tabs on his exes. And I know that from experience because he did that when I was with him. Not in a way because he wanted to get back with him, but just because, I don't know, curiosity. But yeah, so that is why I don't have a husband and why I left the one that I had.
I didn't get a divorce just because of one single thing. I got a divorce because of the patterns that I'm about to tell you. So some of the patterns that happened that slowly picked away at my marriage. I think the first one, which is, again, they're small when you see them, but they add up to be bigger. The first one was I would go get food for the kids. Let's just say I went to McDonald's and I would get food. I would always ask him, like, hey, do you want anything before I ordered? He would just go grab stuff and bring it home and then be like, oh, I didn't even think about it. I was a glorified maid. I had no help around this house. I literally cleaned and made dinner and attended to the kids and did everything while my ex was sitting in the bedroom watching anime. And mind you, I have a chronic illness. I have a lung disease and all the things. And instead of a spouse making your life easier, it was, again, made to make me struggle even more. I did everything inside the house. I did everything outside the house. Power washing, getting the kids ready for school. So I didn't have a partner. And I was always, belittled and I was always compared to other people. Mind you, I never did that to him. Again, going back to some of my other videos, I never did that to him. I never was like, don't you wish you were this person? Don't you wish that you... Never. Not one time. And so it was just little things that like picked. And so eventually I just shut down. I shut the fuck down because I wasn't in a marriage. Now that we're divorced, he has the kids some of the time, which he's parenting more now than he ever had in 17 years at this point. So yeah, it's just, so be careful when you go onto somebody's page and you're like, this person just left right out of the blue. Trust me, women that are asking for a divorce this has been years of like pent up, you didn't put me first. You didn't even put me 10th on your list. And then all of a sudden men are surprised that we want a divorce. Why? Because as a woman, I deserve help in my home. And I didn't get that for 17 years. So that is why we got a divorce. That is the real reason.
60 to 70% of divorces are initiated by women after the age of 40. Let that hit you in the face. Women are straight up dumping their husbands once the kids are grown and the hormones start doing backflips and cartwheels. This is the latest data. Women initiate about 69% of divorces. And among couples over 50, that gray divorce, that number stays roughly the same, around 66 to 70%. And in many cases, men are blindsided while the woman was emotionally checked out long before the papers were filed. Why? Here's the brutal truth. The first reason is she is done with your If you stopped taking her on dates, stopped taking care of yourself, came home, grabbed the phone, cracked the beer, ate the chips, and zoned out on the game while she handled the house, the kids, the emotions, everything, she's over it. You became her roommate with a friggin' pulse. She's tired of being your maid or your mom, and she knows that she deserves better. The second reason, if you married her at 22, what did you expect to happen 30 years later? She's a completely different person. New passions, new confidence, new boundaries. If you did not grow with her, if you stayed stuck in the same habits, you weren't improving yourself, your sex game went stale, you stopped being adventurous, she got bored. She evolved and you didn't. And she's not settling for that old version of you anymore. Third reason is menopause. That's the final straw. Her hormones flip, her tolerance crashes, every ignored problem explodes. And if you are not helping her level her hormones, she's gone. And the fourth reason, she's got her own money. She's also have her own friends and her own life, and you let her work like a man just like you. And then why would she depend on you anymore? She was a wife, a mom, and busting her ass, working full time every day for years. She carried it all. Now she's fried. No more staying for the kids or the mortgage. She's gone. Here's a little bit of more data for you. Post-divorce, only 27% of women regret it. Men, 39% do. So more women are happy that they chose to divorce versus the ones who didn't. And here's some instruction for you. Don't marry young and clueless. Date long. Grow together. Step up every day. Dates, effort, self-care, adventure, intimacy, and polarity. And communicate. Evolve. Talk and be honest with her. Or watch her walk away once she hits 40.
Bitch, I was just thinking how this time last year, I was a saddie. I just asked my husband for a divorce. I was devastated having to make that decision, trying to figure out, okay, how I'm going to save all the money I needed to save and finding a place, how I'm going to do that. But now, a fucking year later, the sun is shining. I'm in my own place. My house smells good as fuck. I just got me some Bath and Body Works inserts. The house smells good. The house is clean. The kid is with her dad. Bitch, the difference a year makes. The hair is giving like 90s realness. The sun is shining. I'm about to go to the farmer's market. I'm about to go shopping. I'm about to like sit outside, get me a coffee, get me a little pastry at the farmer's market, and just relax. The difference a fucking year makes. Hang on. Keep going. It gets better. I was sad as fuck. Heartbroken. Literally, I would feel the breaks in my heart because of the fact that we were divorcing, that I chose divorce, that I chose myself. But I had to break open so I can break free. That is what I told myself every time I felt that ache. Bitch, a year later, we're good. We're better than good. We're great. We're amazing. Keep going, bitch. Keep going.
Hello, I'm in the middle of a divorce. My daughter says I should make a TikTok to share my divorce journey. So my husband went to Hong Kong to work. He had an affair with a Chinese woman and decided to divorce me and the kids. He wants £2 million to himself and doesn't want his children. He got the most aggressive lawyer in the country to fight me. I don't have a lawyer. Today, I'm going to respond to his email about a ridiculous settlement proposal. Follow me to stay updated.
Sometimes I see videos of recently divorced women and they're like living these like really amazing lives now that they're divorced. You know, they're going on an amazing vacation, or they just bought a house, or, you know, they met this new great guy and they're in love. They're having this amazing like physical glow up, doing all these amazing things. And I kind of think to myself, like, you know what? I'm just glad I'm not married anymore. I just get to wake up in the morning and I don't have a husband anymore. There's no man in my house. Just that simple fact is enough for me. I haven't done much since I got divorced. You know, my life isn't really that different. Like, I go to work, I take care of my kids, I try to get some sleep, I watch Netflix and Dodger games. I just don't have a husband. I just don't have a man around. I'm not somebody's wife anymore. Like, I'm just my own person. Someday, maybe I'll do one of those things. Not the man part. I'm not doing that. But maybe I'll go on a fabulous vacation or have this amazing, like, physical glow up. I don't know. Maybe I will. But for now, just the fact that I'm not married anymore is the victory. That's it. Like, I won. And sometimes I can't believe it. I just kind of chuckle to myself. I'm like, oh my gosh, you know, I'm not married anymore. So cool.
So social media caused me to get a divorce. Like, that's dumb. That's a mistake. Let me explain.
This is about to be one of those videos where I'm like, why is this on the internet? But continue.
My own feelings of uncertainty and unhappiness for a while. I was actually, I hate telling people this, but like, I had thoughts on my wedding day and I thought that was just super normal. And I was in the haze of being a new mom. We got pregnant very early in our relationship.
This is yet another perfect example of how women fall in love with the process of being in love rather than the actual person that they're marrying. And once the excitement of the wedding and having a baby and all of those things die out and reality smacks them in the face, they wake up and realize, oh shit, I think I made the wrong decision. And in this case, a lot of these women already know on their wedding day or before they even have children that they don't want to be with these people in the first place, which I think is very, very selfish.
We got pregnant very early in our relationship on purpose, which again, another story for another day. But, you know, being a new mom, I had 2 kids, 2 young kids, and I was just in survival mode. So I really didn't have a lot of time to think about me or what I wanted or what I was feeling. I was just in kind of like autopilot. And I think that's probably why if you go back on my page, you'll see any videos of me talking about my husband where like I make us out to be like the happiest couple ever, which we're not unhappy. There is actually not a lot of tea here. There's not a lot of like jealousy or animosity or a big story or anything that was wrong. It just also wasn't right.
Then she goes on a 2-minute rant about how she got into therapy and her therapist is telling her that she's just a people pleaser and this is why she's made such poor decisions to begin with. So it strips her of any real accountability. She even says that she got on the internet and realized that other women felt the same way that she did, and that's why she felt it was relatable in how she was feeling as well. I'm telling you, social media will influence these women in a direction that they don't want to be in because now she's a single mother of 2 kids. And she even goes on to state that there was no tea, there was no abuse, there was nothing, and it was pretty much like she just woke up one day and decided, oh shit, I made the wrong choice. And she's such a people pleaser, but she doesn't realize that simultaneously she's being selfish as fuck, wasting his time and bringing 2 kids into the world, essentially immediately into a broken home or what's going to be a broken home. Look, and I'm all for getting out of unhappy relationships, but don't you think you should have figured that out before you got married or even perhaps after the first child? Like you went as far as to have 2 children with this man, knowing damn well that he wasn't the one or that it wasn't going to be a long-term situation. But then these women get on the internet and kind of brag about it like it's funny. And like they're not part of the problem because everyone around them on social media and apparently this woman's therapist are validating them for these poor decisions. This just goes to show you how many women are at the stages in their life where they want to do everything for social media and they don't want to do it for reality, and where they fall in love with the process of being in love, but they don't fall in love with the person that they're actually marrying or being with long term. And I think it's incredibly toxic, selfish. I don't care how you spin it. The fact that these women bring children into the world, they waste a man's time and they do all of this, and then they get on the internet like it's funny or it's a joke or it's embarrassing and they don't want to talk about it, but you know, they want to get the clout for it. Is absolutely embarrassing in my opinion. Okay, bye.
Why get a divorce after 25 years of marriage? The short answer is because it is not too late to be happy. And I finally got to a point at the beginning of the year where I decided that it wasn't too late to be happy. I still have hopefully many more years left, and I would like to be happy for those years. And that was never going to happen inside my current marriage. No matter how many wonderful people, supportive people, positive people you surround yourself with, it will never have as much of an impact if you have toxic people in your home. And the 2 most toxic people in my life, 2 most toxic adults in my life, live in my home with me right now. And my husband was definitely someone that sabotaged all of my efforts to try and get healthy, to try and feel better, to be more successful, to be happy. I don't know whether it was intentional or not, and it really doesn't matter at this point. I want to be happy. I want to be hopeful. I want to surround myself with people and experiences and success and love and peace that I will never be able to find if I stay married. And so we're getting a divorce, and the best way I can really describe that experience of 25 years. It's like climbing or riding in a roller coaster to the highest peak. And it's just one click at a time, one thing at a time. And then you finally get to the top. And that's the tipping point. There is no going back. There's nothing to fix, no desire anymore to try and fix things. You've already put in that effort. And it's a free fall to a new life and new experiences. And I am so looking forward to those. And so today I am really grateful for the new experiences I am about to have, because I am going to be able to surround myself with wonderful people and amazing experiences. So please tell me what you are grateful for today.
As we come to the end of this video, one thing becomes very clear. Divorce is never just a legal process or a simple decision. Behind every story shared here is a woman who carried emotional weight, faced difficult moments, and had to make choices that changed her life completely. These experiences remind us that divorce is deeply personal, and no one truly understands the full story except the people living through it. The women who spoke in this video shared more than just problems in marriage. They shared feelings of loneliness, emotional exhaustion, disappointment, fear, and also strength. For some, divorce came after years of trying to fix things. For others, it was a decision made to protect their mental health, peace, or future. Every journey was different, but they all required courage. In many societies, women going through divorce still face judgment and pressure. They are often questioned more than supported. People may assume things without understanding the emotional struggles behind closed doors. Many women stay silent because they fear criticism, shame, or being misunderstood. That is why conversations like this matter. Giving women a space to speak honestly helps break that silence and reminds others that they are not alone. Divorce can affect every part of life, emotionally, mentally, financially, and socially. Starting over is not easy. Rebuilding confidence, adjusting to change, raising children, managing responsibilities alone, or learning how to heal emotionally takes time and strength. Some women feel relief after divorce, while others carry pain for years. Sometimes both emotions exist together. Healing is never simple or linear, but one important thing these stories show is that life does not end after divorce. Many women slowly rediscover themselves, rebuild their confidence, and create a healthier future for themselves and their children. Growth often comes from painful experiences, and while the journey may be difficult, many women eventually find strength they didn't know they had. This video was not created to blame men or women, and it is not about deciding who is right or wrong. Relationships are complex, and every situation has different sides. The purpose of this conversation is simply to listen to real experiences with empathy and understanding. Sometimes the most important thing we can do is allow people to speak without fear of judgment. If you are watching this and you have gone through divorce, or you are currently struggling in your relationship, please remember this. Your feelings are valid. It is okay to feel confused, hurt, angry, relieved, or uncertain. Healing takes time, and everyone moves at their own pace. You do not have to carry everything alone. And if you are someone listening to understand the experiences of others, thank you for staying with us until the end. Listening with empathy matters more than many people realize. Support, kindness, and understanding can make a huge difference in someone's healing journey. We hope this video created a space where people felt heard, understood, and less alone. If these stories resonated with you, feel free to share your thoughts respectfully in the comments. Your experience or perspective may help someone else feel seen. Don't forget to like this video if it connected with you, subscribe for more honest and meaningful conversations, and share this video with someone who may need support or understanding during a difficult time. Thank you for watching and for listening with an open heart. Until next time, take care of yourself and others, and remember, healing may take time, but everyone deserves peace, respect, and the chance to begin again.